Welcome to Sipping on Excellence. This is Coach KJ, and I'm here with my man, my dude, the Doc.
And this is where we will be discussing the exceptional that is absolutely attainable. My friends, here's to living that extraordinary life.
Cheers.
With humble grace.
Humble grace.
Y'all, welcome to another episode of Sippin' on Excellence. As always, it is Dr. Leonel Hunt, and you got Coach KJ,
Kenneth Johnson.
life coach extraordinaire.
Well, yes.
I'm like, we just said come with humble grace.
Extraordinaire.
Right?
Right.
Oh man, welcome you guys. We're happy you're joining us again.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. This is always a good time, man. Always a good time.
Ain't good time. It ain't our time.
Quick plug. Forever Young podcast with my boys, Dr. John Lakey and Dr. Payman Danielpour, who will be a guest. I was a guest on there talking about the Hunt Foundation. Go check it out.
Woody do. I'm not mad at you. Did a good job though.
Thank you, sir.
Did a good job.
Anytime we can pub the foundation and,
Yeah.
what we do is important. What the foundation does is next level
It is
shit.
tenfold.
And it's what we need to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Just how the foundation gives, we're trying to give y'all a little something to sip on. The Sip Boys are back at it.
You like that one, huh?
Coach KJ coined that one. That shit came out of
That's what
nowhere.
I know,
And
right?
it just-
I was
And
right.
it fit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, the Sip Boys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it kind of worked.
I think I was listening to something, all these groups and the what.
Right.
I think, you know what? It was Kevin Hart.
The
and
Plastic Cup
Plastic
Boys.
Cup Boys. And I was just like, the Sip Boys.
But it just it flowed because we sipping and giving y'all a sip.
That's right. That's
Um,
right.
Tonight it ain't gonna be a sip. Tonight's gonna be a whole goddamn big gulp.
Lord
Oh
Jesus.
man.
There's a fire. There's a fire.
Oh man. Yeah, it's just there's a topic that somebody came to us with, how come y'all don't talk more about man shit, like geared towards men? And I'm like,
I'm
we
leaning into
we kind of do. We teach people about man issues. We teach people about life issues, and we give our opinion on just all the shit that we as men know. We can't give you the opinion of shit that women knows because we're not women.
I think it just comes from a space of they hear it however they hear it.
Yeah.
And it sounds like because they're feeling some kind of way.
But what's funny
In
is our
certain
listening
areas.
audience is
Typically
women, especially if you look at our live. And so they're getting something from it. They're trying to get in the mind of a man.
Yes.
That's what I think.
Yes.
Y'all can tell me if we're wrong or not, but I think
Whether they're trying to get to understand or control.
either way, they're trying to figure out what's up in there.
And it's not as challenging as you think.
It's really
is not as challenging as you think.
it's not, man.
I think if anything else, we've always alluded to the fact that just keep it simple.
Yeah.
We are not in a space of, oh, I'm in this place. I'm on the 405, but I'm at 110. I'm on the 110 at the same time. I wonder what the traffic light over there. We don't do that. We're on the 405. We're just trying to get to our destination.
And exactly. And so one of the things that is sort of that burning age-old question that we just will never understand. And there was a movie about it, What Women Want.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
instead of trying to ask, what do women want? Because asking somebody what they want is extremely difficult because nobody probably really knows exactly what they want. But what they can tell you is what they don't want.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so, fellas, the questions that you've always wanted answers to, what do you do or what do you don't do that bothers women? What gets under their skin? What do they dislike that men do or don't do, or act, or just how they act, what they say, how they treat women?
Mm-hmm.
What is it about them, or should I say, what is it about us
Correct.
that rubs them wrong sometimes?
Yeah. Makes things uneasy or it's unsettling.
Right. And so
Yeah.
when we posed this question, put it out there to 25 women because that's all I had the time for. Right. And we were just like,
and I
and we were
don't
just like,
and I don't know that many.
yeah. So it's just like, you know what?
You lived a single life, brother.
It was quick and easy just to flip it out there.
Correct.
Friends, coworkers, whoever was like, I work around women all day. So
Right.
that was quick and easy to be like, boom, here's 25.
Damn, Magic Johnson.
It's the world I work in, medicine.
Yeah.
Healthcare's got a
Healthcare.
lot of women.
Yeah.
And so it just made it an easy task. Or what I thought was an easy task. I would say one thing I learned before we get into how they answered was the fact that women, all the people that we asked, I learned that we always knew this, overthink everything.
You think?
But it was, you would have thought that I was asking like the hardest calculus question. And it was odd because it took so long and they were like, oh my God, I have to think about this now. And I think it wasn't, they had to think about the answer. They had to think about how they wanted to state it. They knew the answers. They could rattle off, these are all the shit I hate about men or dislike or whatever. But trying to put it into words and trying to put it on paper, because when you ask somebody to write it down, like you always said, write down for 3 minutes, shit pops out when you start writing it down.
When you write things out, truth comes out.
Yes.
There is no lying in the pen.
And so I was like, send it to me by tomorrow, because I wanted it to be their initial thoughts. I didn't want it to be
to middle over.
Let me ask all my friends and
Right.
then decide what's going to be the best answer to send him. And the first question I got was, why do you want it? Oh, for the podcast. They're like, oh, okay. Because then now they see
they're a part of.
Right. And not only that, they see I'm not asking them for their opinion of me. That was the key.
Yeah.
Because you can tell me these are the things that I dislike about you. Cool. But that was the key. And so then it was like trying to massage it out of them. Like, all right, just don't think too hard. If you're thinking too hard, then just never mind. I'll go to the next person. Right. And so there were some who blew the assignment, just didn't, they gave a non-answer or told me what they liked about men. And I'm like, well, that's cool, but that wasn't what I asked.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, certain groups of people answered these questions the same way. Like we talked about, like I was telling you, if you were in a relationship that was a little bit rocky, or if you just got out of a relationship, your answers pertain to that one dude.
Right. Everything is proximal. What is the closest to me?
Yeah.
Or the closest that I was in recently that I can remember and recall why we're not in that relationship anymore.
Yeah. If you were in a relationship, a healthy relationship, long standing, you were more inclined to talk about the things in general that would that just kind of rubbed you wrong about not just your man, and it may have nothing to do with your man, but just men you work with, men you come in contact with, strangers. And then there's the people who are in a new, starry-eyed, lovey-dovey relationship, just brand spanking new, who are like, I have nothing to say bad about men. There's nothing, not necessarily bad, There's nothing I dislike. One even said, "My man's perfect," and I was like, "And you're delusional." you know. And so, but they were in these groups.
Oh, she hasn't even blown out the candles on the cake, huh?
No, and I was like, have this discussion with me in a few years. you know.
Or another 6 months.
Yeah, I was going to give her a few years.
Yeah, okay.
I was trying to be nice.
By that time, we would have revisited this whole conversation.
Right.
We don't have to do a replay.
No.
We'll revisit the whole conversation.
Right, exactly.
Because it needs to be revisited over and over again.
And it was interesting to see how it all kind of grouped together. And not that you all said the exact same things, but the overall premise and how you approach the question was very similar based on your stage in life.
Mm.
And so,
Mm.
and here's the funny thing: only asked a couple of dudes the same question, but pertaining to women. No long drawn out. Immediately, it was a couple of different things, and done.
Yeah.
And it was all very similar. One answer that every dude gave is that they hate or dislike. I'm gonna let you tell them what it was. The mind reading. We hate
mind reading. We hate the idea that you assume that we know exactly what you're thinking. Exactly. You assume that we know what you're thinking. We don't do what it is that you need us or want us to do, or we do something that agitates you, that something that you want us to do, the opposite direction. But you never ever state to us exactly what it is that you want and looking for. And then you're
because we'll give it to
upset.
you.
We will. If you say, "Hey, I need you to I need you to help out around the house, clean up a little bit."
Done.
Cool. But assuming that I just don't clean up or I don't do activities around the house, come on now.
Or you want it done a certain way.
Exactly.
I do it the way that I would do it.
Very Pacific.
Right. I do it the way that I would do it. But if it's not what you want,
Yeah.
tell me before you just bitch and moan about it.
Right.
So that was a 100% common theme amongst all the dudes that I asked. But because and I just did it because I wanted to see if dudes would overthink it, the question.
It's assumption.
And we didn't.
We don't overthink assumption because we don't assume. Even though some of the people that you say men assume too much. I'm like, I struggle. I kind of struggle with that one.
Yeah.
I kind of struggle with that one.
So let's get into it, man.
How about it?
Let's get into it.
I'm gonna take another sip because I'm gonna ask you a question.
Oh, I'm so scared. Why am I on the hot seat tonight?
You are not scared. You are. That's the thing about this guy. He is never scared.
I don't fear shit. except heights.
There you have it. There you have it. What do they about you? What is wrong with you? What is up with you? Because it's going to be pertained one way
I
or
am
the
perfectly imperfect. Get off me. Nah. No, I'll tell you. The one thing that gets pointed out is that, and my assistant told me this. I was like, Coach is probably going to ask me this crap. She's like, "Oh, what are you going to tell him, that you're a robot?" and it's crazy because for some reason people think I'm emotionally detached, or that they don't like the fact that I think so logically, that I approach everything with logic. Even relationships. Logic first, emotion second. And sometimes that just, you don't ever feel, you don't get mad, you don't get angry, you don't do this. I'm like, because it's illogical to me.
It's not serving.
And when you meet me, you'll know I got an engineer's brain. It's all zeros and ones. It just, I'm methodical about everything I do.
You are the operator in the Matrix. He's not going to be running around in the Matrix. He's going to be in one at the computer board, looking at the ones and zeros,
Yeah,
looking for the glitch in the matrix.
yeah, and people don't like that because they're like, one thing that people have said, there's like, we can't read you. So it's not my fault that you can't read me. I'm showing you who I am. Take it as face value. I'm not hiding it from you, and so I would say that's one thing that people have said about me that they're like, huh, I can't read them. So what happens? It makes them hold back.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I'll open up to you, but shit, you got to work your way to that spot. That ain't,
It's not given on day
nah,
one,
nah.
day 20.
You got to make the team first. You
Yeah,
don't get a starting position and you ain't even made the team yet. Come
yeah,
on.
yeah.
And so it's like, just understand that my logic wall gets lower and lower the more you get to know me.
It's the horse before the cart, not the cart before the horse. I mean, pretty simple. I mean, if you address life that way, it probably would go a lot easier.
Yeah. But also communicate that that's what's bothering you,
Correct.
because you think you've told me by hinting around and things like that. I don't know how many times we've said men don't take hints,
Yeah.
you know? And so if your guys out there, if your woman tells you you're not vulnerable enough, you're not emotional enough, all she wants to do is every now and then see your softer side.
Hmm.
Every now and then. She doesn't want to see you boohoo crying, but she wants to know that you feel. That's
Right.
all. They just want to know that you feel. And number two, that you feel them.
Right. Right. Let me ask you, do you think, because it's always brought up about communication, we talk about it a lot, who is really lacking in the ability of communication?
Women. And y'all are gonna hate me for saying this, but I say women because you guys think and your mind works on such a another level when it compares to men that when we tell you we don't understand, you get frustrated. So a lot of times, men, again, this show's point is for you. Don't nod in agreement like you understand if you don't,
It's
because
not a good look.
she is going to assume that you understand. And when it comes back around and you're like, huh, I don't remember that. Well, you remember they don't forget shit. So you're going to they're going to point out the fact that you were not in agreement like you understood everything, and that's miscommunication.
Hmm.
So as men, we have to be willing, put our ego aside and be willing to say, hey, look, I'm not understanding where you're coming from. And in a nice way, kind of say, please break it down a little further. Women, you got to not get frustrated with our inability to understand.
Yeah.
You know, you
And then also, if he is communicating to you and you're not understanding, or you're frustrated with him not understanding what it is that you're trying to communicate to him, do this. Say, hey, listen, is this what I'm hearing? Is what I'm hearing? So that way you can pull more out of him and you can get more of what it is you really want in regards to communication. You have to you have to communicate to communicate.
yes,
You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
just a double edge.
And like somebody said here, they don't like it when men don't want to be fully known, meaning they're keeping things like they're keeping secrets.
Mm,
Well, most of the time, a man's not keeping secrets. Sometimes there's just not much depth,
right.
you know, because we're kind of an open book. And because women are so cerebral, they're looking for the hidden meaning in everything
Yeah.
when there may not be one. When what you see with this dude may be what you get. And so when you said he doesn't want to be fully known, he's telling you everything, but you
Right.
in your mind may be thinking, there's got to be more to this dude than this,
Right.
right? But there may not be.
Right.
He just may be a shallow cat. It's and not shallow personality. I'm just saying there may not be a whole lot of depth to him. There may be some breadth, but not depth. And you
Correct.
have to be willing to accept that or move on.
Right.
You know, dudes, feel free to sort of the person you're with, if you feel you can't open up, like really dig deep and say, hey, I'm going to let you, you ain't got to jump out of the closet with all your skeletons up front,
Mhm.
but just ease them into you. And as you're getting to know them, don't always talk about yourself, but allow them to get to know more of you. Meaning, women, people, most of the time, don't give a shit about what you tell them. What's more important, dudes, is what you show them.
Mhm.
What they mean not fully known, meaning you don't take them around your friends. You don't take them around your family. You're only hanging, they only know you, but to know their friends is to know them. And so if a woman doesn't meet your friends, eventually that's going to be a problem for her because she's going to think you're hiding something
This is
when
correct.
you just may think your friends are a bunch of knucklehead shitheads and you don't want her around them right now. you
Do
know?
you, do you think that as far as men and their ability to communicate, is it generational?
Nope.
Okay.
I think we communicate individually the best way we know how. And any woman that's with us, it won't be enough because they communicate so much on a deeper level. They're much more emotionally mature. Their intellectual capabilities are so much far. Again, I always say this: we're like ABC, NBC, and CBS. They have DirecTV, 1,000 channels,
Right.
and they can play all 1,000 channels at the same time and keep track of every show all at once. We can watch ESPN, and then we have to turn it off and watch the next channel. And so it'll, like with me, I'll tell you, it frustrates me when people don't understand me. Like when I'm talking to them, I have issues with people that are just not smart, like life dumb. I one of my biggest faults. I can't.
I have a friend that's like that.
It just and I sit there and I take it, but I'm just like, God, I can't do this all day every day, and I do it all day every day with a lot of people, and it's the most annoying thing. And that's why when I get home, I'm like, whew, I'm by myself finally, because
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have to explain shit all the time,
Yeah.
But I think the older we get, the more experience we have, we can communicate better, but we don't communicate ever on the same level.
Mm.
And I think, aside from what most women think, I think a lot of times why men are dating younger women,
Hmm.
not children, not women 50 years younger than them, but while they're dating women a decade or 15 years younger, things like that, is because on an emotional maturity level or on an intellectual level, they're at the same leg. And that's why a lot of women won't date a
I,
dude their same age. A 25-year-old woman doesn't want to date a 25-year-old dude because he's a fucking child. you know?
I can agree to that. I can agree to that.
And then it's not until you get older that a lot of men who come into their own and really get it can date a woman who's at that same stage,
Hmm.
because he can handle it. But that's not the norm.
Right.
Like you take a dude, take me for example, 50 years old. Most 50-year-old men, if they're single, aren't looking at 50-year-old women. And it's not because there's no women out there that are 50 that are attractive and blah, 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 blah. It's a lot of these dudes' mentality is of a 30-year-old,
This is correct.
you know? And they just can't quite put it together. You take your high functioning alpha male, he's not going to go for a 20-year-old girl. And I call her girl, she's a woman, but if you're 30 years younger than me, then different generation.
Right.
Your alpha dude is going to go for somebody who's got their shit together,
Hmm.
And so it's not about the age, it's about the mindset,
Yeah.
you know? And this is just in general, this is not every dude,
No.
and just like, there were some statements made to me when I asked this question about, oh, I don't want to generalize men. You're not generalizing men. You're just telling me the experiences you've had with the men that's crossed your path.
That has
That's it.
irritated you or that has caused you some level of grief. What is it?
Right.
That's
Because
it.
if I was going to generalize, I'd have just asked one of you, not 25. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I didn't do Pew Research and do 50,000 of you, but enough where I can say, okay, 25 experiences with however many men that you've experienced. Say you've come across in all your years, each one of you came across with 4 men. That's 100 men that we can say have certain traits, and if they're that you dislike. This is information that's good for men to hear because a lot of times people don't communicate it.
No, no, no. And men are very receptive to, I won't say criticism, but a level of help me understand, help feed me, and I'll take this information and I'll add it to the bank so that way I can grow from it versus I just, oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
So,
We do want to know, but if it steals and robs us from our level of peace or the grace or our energy and time, we're just like, eh. Because if you're not able to keep working on communicating, after a while we're just like, man, I'm good.
and so it's interesting. Another one that came up was how they dislike how men squash their feminine energy for the for the fear of appearing weak. Here's my thought. Tell me if this makes sense to you. This came from women who are in their masculine.
Okay.
If you're a woman in your masculine, a man isn't going to a man needs to squash his feminine energy and be sort of more in his masculine to show you that it's okay for you to revert back to your feminine.
Hmm.
And so you don't want a man who's squashing his feminine because you're not letting the man be the man. If you said, you know what, I came across a dude who's like, hey, babe, I got this. You would sit back, take a deep breath, and now you can sit in your feminine and feel secure
This is
that
true.
his masculine is going to handle it.
Every alpha needs an alpha, not just wants an alpha, needs an alpha. So
Yeah.
it'll allow her to take a step back, to absorb his energy and allow him to be who he is.
Yeah. And
And
so
yeah, I think it'll just allow them to be okay.
so don't squash your feminine for the sake of your masculine. Be masculine, but in your masculine, that woman that you're with, allow yourself a certain moment or moments of vulnerability so she can see that there's some empathy there, but yet I still got you.
Hmm. Yeah. And there's a huge difference between vulnerability versus sensitivity.
You can be vulnerable without being a simp.
Exactly.
It's that simple, and you'll be vulnerable with the woman who's not going to beat you up for it
Right.
or take advantage of you in those moments of vulnerability
Yeah. And
because that
that's,
happens.
yeah. And I honestly believe that the idea of vulnerability is mistaken for sensitivity.
Yeah.
I think that a vulnerable person doesn't live in a level of vulnerability. A sensitive person is always sensitive,
Yes.
but a vulnerable person, it's a moment. It's like you said, it's empathy. It's being in this space at that time, but going back to being who he is or who she is.
Yeah.
So,
Dudes, women also want to be revered. They
hmm,
want to be they want to be on your pedestal that you put them on. Not the world's.
right.
They want you
Yeah.
to hold them in high regard because they want to know that they mean something to you,
Hmm.
and it's one of those things that, dude, you just got to express it. You know, one thing that we talked about was that one woman said, I hate it when a man doesn't know how to compliment.
Mm,
You know, man, if your woman dresses up for you, she gets her nails done, she gets her hair did, she she smelling good, dressed nice, all this stuff. When you see her, let her know that the stuff that she does for you does not go unnoticed.
It's funny you say that, and funny that that was one of the statements, because being married and having an understanding of that, one of the things I realize is women either do those things for you or they do them for others to attract to, as opposed to saying, I'm dolled up because I like the way I look like this. I'm getting my nails done because I like the way they're doing it for the exterior, for the others.
Right. But here's the thing, too. The women who just liked for themselves, like to feel good, look good,
Yeah.
smell good, they're doing it for themselves, but they also want to know that it's on point.
Yeah.
And so when they do it for themselves and you just walk by them like, girl, I could sop you up with a biscuit, they are like, they'll walk away with their little grin, like, yeah,
Right.
and they may not say anything to you, but you just made their day because they may not have been doing it for you, but you took notice. And if you take notice of the things that aren't obvious, it goes even further.
Hmm.
Like you didn't know that she, you know, has a new toenail polish on that she's trying out this week. And you're like, damn, girl, that color looks good on you. Oh, shit. He noticed that.
Yeah. It's being aware.
She feels like you're paying attention, dudes. And that's what women want. They want you to pay attention. They want
Hmm.
you, they want to feel that they matter. They want to feel like they're being heard,
Hmm.
and they want to feel like you're at least trying to understand, even if you don't.
That's the magic spot.
What do you think in the past women have thought about you that they didn't like?
It's the it's the shut off. Whatever irritates me, whatever bothers me about you or something you said, I literally was shut off. Like
Yeah, like
like
somebody,
automatic powering
yeah,
off.
somebody said it irks them to no end when they get the silent treatment.
Hmm.
Or you get in an argument and it's just, okay, I'm done with the argument. I'm quiet.
Hmm.
Because for some reason, and this came from multiple women, so forgive me for generalizing, but for some reason, they want that back and forth because that's the feedback. And when you stop giving them feedback, they think, oh, well, he doesn't even care enough to talk about this.
Right.
It's like, no, I'm gonna get quiet so I don't choke you the F out, or I'm gonna get quiet so I can have time to think before I say something
Yeah.
we're gonna regret.
Yeah. Because what one of the statements that they hate most is when you say, "No, I'm good. No, I'm cool," and they can tell in your tone the shortness of it, because after that you don't say anything.
Yeah.
You're short. You're like, I'm fine. I'm good. And that alone is way more irritating than even just the silence, because they're trying to address those moments that they're trying to still get out. Now, if you attach yourself to saying, listen, this is not working in this moment, this arguing back and forth, this is the way I feel. I hope you understand and hear me clearly.
Right.
At least you're addressing that you're not going to continue to argue. So now she doesn't have a ground to stand on, and she has to sit in the space and say, well, this is what irritates me. Or you say something, you say something to the effect of, like, I understand what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I don't necessarily agree with it, but maybe we can work on something to help move out of that space.
Yeah.
You're giving it you're giving it the energy to move forward, and not a positive. I like to use the word optimism, like more optimistic light, because optimistic has a higher ground, a higher standard versus just positive.
What I found interesting is that somebody actually said giving a woman the silent treatment
It's like giving
is
her the
emotionally
finger.
abuse, right?
It's like giving her the finger.
Is emotion They said it's emotional abuse by giving, and I'm like, I didn't think of it that way, but their mind goes there.
It's a level of
Yeah.
disrespect.
One thing that I thought was really interesting, and this was across the board. So none of you, or should I say all of you, said this, which makes sense. It bothers them when a man lacks ambition, lacks drive, and has low self-esteem. And I'm like, yeah, that's about right.
It's not sexy.
At all.
It has absolutely no attractive feel to it.
Because most women want you to lead, and they hate it when a man can't take the lead in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing about that is that they I keep using the word hate, but they dislike when a man tries to compete with them.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't a competition. If I'm doing something, hold me up. If you're doing something, hold you up. But
Champion each other.
I'm not, yeah, that, but I'm not, they don't want to compete with you, man. So men out there, stop trying to compete with your girl. You're not in a competition. You're
You're her man.
you're a force to be reckoned with, and the shit you can't do alone, she will take you there. If you champion your girl, I promise you, man, she will champion you so much more that she will drive you to be better than you think you are.
Yeah. I think the misconception of lead is that I'm in the front and I'm pulling you. No, I'm right beside you, but I got you an arm and I'm walking with you. When you do ballroom dancing, the male leads, but it's just a guidance. We're still together.
Yeah.
There's not, I'm pulling you from behind. I'm in the pulpit and you're in the congregation. That's not leading. Leading is right by your side. It's arm in arm. I think that there's a large misconception because they'll say lead, but then they don't want a lead.
They want to lead.
But they do want to lead.
Yeah. They want to be led. They don't want to be told what to do.
Huge difference.
And with that ability to lead, there's nothing more unsexy, men, when you're indecisive, when you can't make a decision about simple shit. Like one person said, when you take forever to make a decision on buying a car, doing something that's not life altering, but you can't make a decision. I call and invite you out to dinner, and then I'm saying, well, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? No, call with a plan. Women like men with a plan. When you don't have a plan, it's a turnoff.
Yeah.
I'm helping you dudes. Coach and I give you the playbook.
Or your woman the playbook to give to you.
Yes.
and the third one that you said in that last one was self-deprecation.
God.
That is not sexy.
And
And I've been told, because there are times that I've kind of made statements and I've been told that's not cute. That's not sexy. And
women,
you're just kind of like,
they like
okay,
humility,
yeah,
but they like humility that comes with a quiet confidence.
yeah,
A quiet confidence is very different than beating on your chest.
yeah,
A man that has to say he's great isn't great.
yeah. Humility is different than self-humiliation.
Yes.
That part.
Yes. And a good friend of ours said it wasn't till recently that she started thinking. She was in a conversation with someone and they said, God, I was a pussy back then. And she was like, why? She's like, it bothers me when men use different aspects of the female anatomy
Not a cat.
to, the female anatomy to do to show signs of
Right.
weakness,
I get it.
And so I brought that up to another friend of mine today, and she was like, well, think about this. She's like, she was like, we say it. She's like, I even say it too. She's like, we say, he's acting like a pussy or this, that, and the other. But if you really think about it, it takes a licking and keeps on ticking. It spits out babies. Things go in, things come out.
That part.
What is the most vulnerable part? Softest, most sensitive part on a dude is his balls. But we always say, stop being a pussy and grow a pair, when those are the most sensitive thing ever. And we're like, oh, no, don't touch it. It's kind of ass backwards in reverse, right? But it's just how it's been said from men. And so, men, I'm going to tell you, women don't like it when you refer to yourself as a pussy and it meaning that they're weak. And it's funny, she was saying that when she was younger, it didn't bother her, but now it does, and it's because she understands more now. And so a lot of you women out there, that statement may not bother you. After this podcast, it might, because you're going to think about it.
Yeah.
and be
Yeah.
like, huh, that's not cool. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Even though you get a lot of women that'll tell you, "Hey,
yeah,
stop being a pussy,"
exactly. Because
but
it's
let
so
her be the one.
and it's so ingrained in society
It
that
is.
you're a little bitch if but it's
Oh,
like,
like think about it. Pussy, you're gay, you're a punk. Why are all these things, you know, put on men as being weak?
yeah, why?
Because I
Exactly.
know a lot of gay dudes that'll whoop your ass.
And I'll tell you something that is hated across the board. Men, stop referring to women as crazy and generalizing. I sometimes have I do it. My mom will tell me sometimes, hey, all women are crazy. Your mama's crazy, but they hate that word,
Hmm.
you know? And when you say stop acting crazy, if they weren't, you've now just flipped that switch,
Hmm.
you know? And so all women aren't crazy. We call things crazy, and we've said this on the podcast before. We call things, scenarios, and people crazy that we don't understand. So if we understand something, oh, that's crazy. Just say, hey, look, I don't understand, you know, and I got to get better at it. We all got to get better because in frustration, I'm like, that's shit, that's just crazy. No, I just don't understand. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's crazy, but we got to stop doing that. We got to stop stop telling women to relax.
Oof. If you don't know that one by now,
I'm giving you some
man,
pearls.
if you do not know that one by now, do not ever tell a woman relax. Or to go along with relax is what is it? Why aren't you smiling? Do
Yeah,
not tell a woman.
especially one you don't know. A stranger, girl, you should smile more. Really? You just shot yourself in the foot. That is not
That is
I'm gonna
not
promise you.
game. That is not going to put you on.
That's not a pickup line. The pickup artist will never tell you to go walk up to somebody and say, "Girl, you should smile more."
Be lucky that you have skin on your face when you walk away, because you will walk away crying if she hasn't scratched you up.
Um, Men out there, learn how to be chivalrous, and don't do it just in the beginning to look good and then lose it down the road. Make it part of your being. Open the door. No matter how independent a woman is, she still wants you to open her door. She still wants you to walk on the street side of the sidewalk. She still wants you to pull out her chair for her when she sits. I don't care if she's president of the US. She still wants to be treated like a woman, like a lady.
If what you're doing as a man is not working in your life, do away with that.
Change that shit.
Change that. Start reading more. Become more worldly. Two, start spending time listening to women talk. Listening conversations. Listen to what other men are saying that are gentlemen, that do have a relationship, that are living a good life, that you know, and they're around you, but you avoid them saying, "Oh, he gone. He's gone for a reason.
Yep.
There's a reason why he's gone, because he's good."
Right? Men, say what you mean and mean what you say.
That actually should have been the first thing we said today.
But it
That is. Listen,
because
I've
that's
I've been
what being a
guilty.
man is.
I've been
Yeah.
guilty. We've all been guilty. Don't get me wrong, but learn from that.
Yes.
Whatever that mistake was, or whatever you did not do, say, "Oh, you know what? She was right," because she's gonna let you know.
Yeah. And all these things we're talking about, Coach and I aren't exempt.
No.
You know, we're just, I'm sharing, the knowledge from my life. He's sharing the knowledge from his life. We're telling you shit so you don't have to touch the stove to know it's hot because I'm gonna tell you you're gonna get burned. you know? And so another thing that was stated is state your intentions. When you're dating a woman or you're meeting a woman, state your intentions because they want to know as soon as you know. Like if you don't want kids and she does, don't pretend like you want them so you can continue to date her because you really like her and hoping that your mind will change. If you know that's not the case, let her know this is where I am.
Hmm.
Let her decide from there what she wants with you. If you know that, hey, I never want to get married, say that up front because if marriage is on her list of things of must do's, it
Yes.
gives her a chance to bounce before she falls in love with you.
Give her the opportunity. Bottom line, in what he's saying is, you are you are the guide of clarity. If this is what you want or where she wants to go, give her clarity. Clarity is enormous. Communication and clarity.
Communicate your
Yeah.
expectations, communicate your wants, communicate your needs. Because as much as we say women are mind readers, if you don't communicate them clearly, they're going to make up what they think it is. And if it's wrong, you're going to blame them when you just didn't tell them or give them anything to go on.
Absolutely.
And so you have to pay attention.
Get out of whatever's going on here, get out.
You know, for example, women hate when you try to love them and don't know their love language.
Hmm.
And it's a simple thing to ask what they want without asking. Because if you ask them, what do you want? You're going to get an answer that's either they're going to make you feel stupid for asking, but you look like much more of that dude if you just pay attention and pay attention to detail. They will show you everything if you just pay attention.
Yeah. And how you find out? Ask open-ended questions, not yes and no answers. Open-ended
It's that
questions.
simple.
Yeah.
And this whole male female dynamic is complex as shit. It just is. We're simple, women are complicated. Women think we're complicated because we are so simple.
Yeah.
And they can't understand why we're so simple and we just say we'll never understand you, so we don't try.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with men being simple and women being complex. There's nothing wrong with
Exactly.
either of the two. There's a blessing in both. We need your complexity to allow us to grow in many ways.
The other thing that popped up, and we discussed this, men, they women truly dislike when you don't take the time to understand the art of lovemaking.
I knew you were going to say
Right?
that because we hit them all.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know, not just, and I'm not talking about you know how to have sexual intercourse.
yeah,
Oh, I can throw down the D.
yeah.
Okay. What else?
So your porn addiction, POV, and whatever else, that's not the way it goes. That's not her.
Most women don't want, you know, ground and pound all the time, and they don't want the same thing all the time. And not all women want the same thing. Don't think because you've been with women that you know women. That's the biggest mistake you could ever make.
Do not put them all in the same boat.
I'm going to help you guys out. If you're dating, treat every woman like she's the first woman.
Mhm.
Because when you're with that first woman, you're going to pay attention to everything because you know nothing about that woman.
Seek pleasure in pleasing, and you
That.
will win. You that is a curry from the corner. Seek pleasure in pleasing.
Yeah. And men, stop mansplaining.
Yeah.
It's okay if you think a woman doesn't know something. That's fine. Instead of mansplaining, just ask, hey, I saw this or I understand this. Is there anything I can help you with or you got this? And let them ask you the question. Don't just go telling them shit thinking they don't know it already. I'm going to tell you, dude, that's the dumbest shit ever. Because how would you feel if a woman came to you thinking you don't know some shit and just told you?
Bruh.
It's 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 not, even if you're making an assumption, it's how you frame it as a question rather than as a statement of telling. And you will cut out the mansplaining because now you're not mansplaining. You're just asking a question
Hmm.
and trying to be helpful if it's needed.
Which
Not
is
saying, I think you need help here.
which is probably the reason why they go through the idea of assumption, that we have this level of assumption.
Yep. Um, Women hate being ghosted, not being responded to. Um, Even though they don't respond in a timely fashion,
It ain't about
what's
them.
good for the goose ain't good for the gander. And that's just the way it works. If you think that it works differently, it never does.
Yeah.
That's just,
Because if you, well, not necessarily ghosted, but I can only imagine if you are not getting responded to in a timely fashion, that's just the way she works. You'll be okay, but you can't do that and expect that you're going to be okay with her.
yeah. And along with, we'll probably wrap this up soon, but along with holding women on a pedestal, fellas, whether you're with your girl, your sister, a coworker, your mom, whoever it may be, if there's a woman in your presence, don't avert your gaze and your attention to another woman in the room unless she brings that up. Because every woman wants to feel special, no matter who they are. And it's if I'm having a conversation with a woman and a beautiful woman walks by, the last thing you're going to do is continue in the conversation and look and gawk. And men, you
Hmm.
get caught doing that so often. Understand this, man. If you see her, she saw her too. And she probably saw her before you did. And she's looking you dead in your grill to see whether or not you're going to look and
Yeah,
how you're going to
yeah.
respond.
Respect her presence, man.
Because when a woman steps into a room and she's of that eye catching caliber, everybody sees. And now that everybody sees, how are you going to respond? And it's all about a matter of respect. Don't disrespect the woman in front of you to look at the woman on the left. You don't. No woman likes that. And think about this. If you're sitting with a woman and all of a sudden you're talking to her and her gaze diverts to some dude, and as you're talking, she's still looking, that shit doesn't feel good. The difference is women can look you dead in your face and see everything about a man. Women have perception that we don't. So stop trying to act like them because you can't, you'll get it wrong every time.
Hmm.
They can look and still keep the conversation going. You can't. You stop talking when your eyes move, you know? And that's just part of the dumbness of us men,
Yeah.
And so it's all about a matter of women wanting to feel respected, just like we do.
Hmm.
You keep saying, I want respect, I want respect. Well, so do they, you know? Number two, they want to feel revered. They want to know that you think the world of them. Number three, they want you to communicate, even if to the best of your ability. It's not going to be to the level they want, but they want to know that you're trying to communicate, whether it's your feelings, your wants, your needs. Do it the best way you can. And at the end of the day, if you two can't come together on how you want to communicate and it's just not working, let it go. Because your communication is not going to get better. Y'all just communicate differently.
Right.
You love differently, you communicate differently, and you might not be compatible, and that's okay. You can't force that shit.
Yeah.
you know? Um,
Clarity. Don't forget about clarity. That communication leads to better clarity. You communicate well, you will create clarity. You tell her specifically what it is that you're feeling, thinking, or want to do. Be clear. Every everybody actually wants clarity, but women in a relationship and you're developing a relationship or you're in a relationship, be clear with your thoughts, your feelings, your decisions. She will appreciate you and she even if it's a little crucial, she will have more respect for you if you're very clear with what it is that you are thinking, going through, or feeling.
yeah, and dude, have good hygiene, have manners. You know what I mean? Have good
I
hygiene,
mean,
have manners.
you wish that this didn't come up.
Yes, but a
You have
lot said that.
got to be kidding
Yeah,
me.
have good hygiene, have manners, and a lot said this: show respect for the women in your family.
Oh my gosh, it goes so far.
And
So far.
and most said this: stop degrading your ex in front of them, and never, ever, ever, ever argue or disagree with your partner in public. If you want to fight your girl, take her home.
And we've talked about this before, and not in the bedroom either.
No,
The bedroom is a sacred place. That is where you sleep. That is where you make love.
that's not where you argue.
That's where you rest. That is not where you argue.
And don't do it publicly. Do not.
Ever.
You guys need to be, when you're together, you're supposed to be holding each other up. Even if she pissing you off in the moment, either walk away or take it to the house. Be like, all right, we got to go. And then you get in the car, y'all can go at it.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, just have that disagreement, not in front of her friends, not in front of your friends. Never talk negatively about your girl to your boys. And ladies, don't tell all the good shit your man does for you to your girlfriends. Because I'm going to tell you, from a dude side, your girlfriends are going to say, I want that man. When a dude talks about the good things about his woman, his boys say, I want a girl like her. That's the difference.
That part.
Or I wish I had a girl like her.
That part.
Women will say, I wish I had your dude.
And have absolutely no problem about going forward with
They
it.
will, and be looking you dead in your face. So I hope this was helpful tonight.
This is magical.
You know, right? I really hope that people got something out of this. You know, I think we could go on forever.
Yeah. From the engineer and the shutoff valve.
Right. we could go on forever about this.
Yeah.
And these are just opening up topics for people to discuss. Each one of these things that we said people don't like about men, that could be a topic in itself. And so we'll continue to bring things to you that you guys hopefully will enjoy hearing.
Champion your woman to have a winning team.
That right there. Coach KJ, man, where they going to find you, dude?
On Instagram at Coach KJ Knows on Instagram and CoachKJ.com.
You're going to find me at Leonel Hunt on Instagram. You're going to find me at huntspine.com. You'll find us both at SOE_podcast on IG. Catch us every week live on at 11 o'clock on Saturdays.
We out.